Hello and welcome everyone to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Last time we made it here to the outpost and we shushed away some bandits of the Stag Lord, and now we have to prepare for a potential retaliation attack. So let's look around and talk to Bokken first. A frail, disheveled old man wearing a stained and tattered robe gives you a gloomy look. I'm Bokken, local herbalist. What brings you here? Tell me about yourself. What's there to tell? I'm an herbalist, make potions and sell them, gather herbs, roots, berries, Bokken size. Live in the forests, live off the land. Since leaving Restov for these parts, I ended up a merchant here at Oleg and Svetlana's post. They let me in out of kindness, help me with these things. They bring me water or firewood when it's cold, and the occasional barrel of honey. They're good people. We could use your help fighting the bandits. Yeah, that would be nice. Where's this coming from? You want an old man like me to fight? Here, take this potion. Consider that my help in your fight. Could try diplomacy here. The bandits here bother you as much as Svetlana and Oleg, maybe more. Help us get rid of them for good. Succeed! Nice. Bokken scratches his head, then hums to himself and puffs his chest out. Well, alright. I'll show those troublemakers. They'll learn better than to chase an old man around. Someone might even write up some verses about me, maybe even heroic ones. I mean, I think Lindsay could do that. Lindsay gives you a worried glance, then turns to Bokken. Please be careful. Go ahead and help, but leave the heroics to us. You hear? Okay. That's fair. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Let's look around some more. The box contains various households and hunting tools. Perception check, okay. You notice some good steel traps in the box. Use traps to help catch the bandits. Let's do that. Okay, we set those up. Okay, very good. Let's look around some more here. Maybe we find some more helpful things. Some gold coins, jasper, the heavy maze, pretty amazing. Disgusting slush in the pot. Lore nature check. This seems to be tar. Spill tar near the trading post entrance to help slow down the bandits. Yes, please. So we are home aloneing this place. Big fan of that, and I think home aloneing is the official term in any roleplay setting. What's this? Can we go? Okay. Actually, nothing up here. Other than some laundry. Fair enough. Seems like a good place to put your laundry. Can I go there? No. We'll definitely need to... I'm not sure if we can rest, or should rest, or if I should actually just heal my... She got knocked down during the fight. It's a bit of a tumble. Can't go inside there either.
The path is clear.
The old well has been renovated and cleaned. It even has a new roof. That's nice. There's a thing. Okay, we have a buckler, longsword, and we have a heavy crossbow.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, this might actually be it for us. So maybe... Let's see. Should I heal with Amari? Probably, right? Probably. We have a few. Let's use this. Oh, we have to use 2. Maybe even 3. Oof. Cooking ingredient. I don't know yet how to cook. I will assume we will learn that at some point. Raise dead. I mean, that could be nice for us, maybe, if we can... Scroll of Snowball. Expeditious Retreat. Okay. Think we're good though for now. I'm not happy about my armor still, but those are the camping supplies. Thylacine pelt. Potion of enlarged person. This spell causes instant growth of an humanoid creature, doubling its height and multiplying its weight by 8. This increases chances the creature's size category to the next larger one. The target gains a +2 size bonus to strength, a -2 size penalty to dexterity. Maybe that would be nice for Amari for this fight, right? Just making her a giant. I could see that being quite successful. Okay, I think we might be ready to take on the bandits. Let's see if we can survive. I'm prepared for the attack. Get in your positions and wait. My flexes her shoulders. Finally, a fight. Sport with all that talking. Well, these aren't the heroics I was hoping to write about, but I guess even the greatest heroes had to start somewhere. I see you're not easily cowed. I beg you, be careful, and please don't let Oleg do anything too risky. Svetlana, go hide inside. We're going to go meet our guests. Here we go. Ooh, let's see. I'm a little bit nervous. Ooh, that was a good start. Okay, now I think I will actually. So what do we have here in terms of there's Haps Biden. Okay.
A solid plan.
I think I want to focus on this guy. Or actually, actually, I probably want to have another summon here in the way before we get anything else. A little more distraction for them. But she can shoot him. Then I think we get the blast going. And she will... Let's try the potion thing. Alright. Huh? Amiri. Let's see how this goes. Okay, she's drinking now. Now Amiri.
Tear them apart!
Okay. Let's... Oh, Harem is right in the thick of it. That is interesting.
This spell's purpose is different.
Why can't... yeah. So far with these special attacks, I'm not really getting how it works. Right. Inside.
This
Can't do
spell's
that
purpose
either.
is different.
Touch of chaos. Maybe we can do that.
They go down!
Oh, no, I don't want her to go there. But that looks good. It's only one... Seems like there's only one bandit left here. So maybe we...
ignoring it.
Actually, I don't want her to walk through the tar. That seems a little dangerous.
Forwards.
Maybe I can acid splash. It's so hard to pick. Oh, so wait, we didn't do the summon monster again? Okay, something interrupted that apparently. Oh, there are more. Oh, I didn't even see that. Well, this is going pretty well. Let's use Bane. Amiri.
Tear them apart.
Oh, she crushed him. That went pretty well. Nobody went down. Oof, that was a rough attack. I like it. Oh, we have a cloak. I want a cloak. And some standard armor, it seems. Let's have a look at the cloak and stuff. I, as the leader, want the cloak. Cloak of Resistance. This cloak grants its wearer +1 resistance bonus to all saving throws. Bonuses of the same type usually don't stack. Nice. I mean, that's good. And we have a cloak. Still don't understand the armor bonus, so for those who may have left a comment down below in an earlier episode, which is much appreciated, I'm pre-recording this a little bit so I can upload the videos regularly. So I haven't read it yet, but I will get to that. But please let me know in the comments what the issue with my armor class is, why I can't wear any armor at all. Maybe it's just that I can't even wear light armor. Like I can't even wear light armor. I don't know why.
Someone else should use it.
Maybe let me know. Maybe I missed something in the character creation and messed up something horribly, which is very much possible. I think this is probably not better. No, okay, that worked pretty well. Giant Amiri crushed him, exploded him. Let's talk to Oleg. Oleg is breathing heavily, but he shakes his fist in the air menacingly. You rats got what you deserved. Now they all know better than to treat honest people like cattle. And our Bokken here taught them a thing or two as well. That's because we convinced him. Now, my lady heads on up to the guest room onto the second floor. You deserve some rest after such a battle. I need to clean things up. And this is for your efforts. Now, don't offend me by trying to turn it down. Just take it. An honest fight deserves an honest reward. If that were more common practice in this world, I think life would be so much better. We got 100 gold coins. Very nice. How you doing, Bokken? You sure showed them what's what. We sure did. Good job, everyone. What's this? An empty tar pot. Okay. Yeah, that went actually pretty well. All the gadgets really did their job. And had some good impact. So I guess we go inside now. Very well. Okay. I'm not sure if I can take things. Probably we'll find out soon. I'm glad it's all over, even if there was a fight. We'll talk tomorrow once I finish working. Can I take things like this? Okay. She doesn't attack us, which is good. Still don't know how to cook. I'm sure there is a crafting menu. Or maybe it is used at camp automatically. That could also be the case. Guess we'll find out.
Completed.
Ooh. Jewelry, silver spoon, gold statuette, gold trinket, and then scroll of Bane. Okay. Potion of Vanish. That sounds good. Then scroll Ray of Enfeeblement. Okay. Some gold, incense, and a pearl. And we have a book here. Also, let me know. So the items that we see a lot where a merchant would be interested. Let me know in the comments below whether or not that just means I can sell all of these, or if I should hold on to them for potential crafting or things like that. Would very much like to find out about that. A Guide for Travelers, Hunters, and Explorers of the River Kingdoms, Volume 5, Monsters and Beasts. Will-o-wisp, an amusing glowing ball which looks harmless and doesn't arouse any natural suspicion, pretends to be a guiding light in the marshes but leads travelers to certain death. The agonizing fear of their victims is this monster's nourishing dinner. If you manage to resist their tricks, make sure you have some electrical protection. The monster electrocutes any visitors it fails to lure into terror. Werewolf. Werewolves prefer to hunt in groups and attack lone travelers. It's entirely possible that a Varisian camp or troop could turn into a pack of bloodthirsty lycanthropes under cover of darkness. Ordinary weapons stand little chance against them, but a silver blade greatly increases your chances of survival. Primals. Powerful creatures of the primal realm occasionally visit this world for amusement. It's best to stay out of a primal's way. Don't fight it. It's extremely dangerous. But if a life is at stake, resort to cold steel. Alright. Let's go to sleep. You wake up from a nasty dream that tortured you almost all night long. In it you saw a wall of unnaturally thick fog that surrounded you, slowly moving closer and closer. A quick look out of the window and you find out that the fog was not a figment of your imagination, not a dream. And then...
Hear me.
Ooh.
Please hear me. Can you hear me?
The half-transparent outline of a beautiful nymph appears before you. Even in this ghostly form, it's clear that she's exhausted. Her shoulders are slouched and her large blue eyes burn within her pale face. Her voice is barely more than a whisper as she reaches toward you. Guardian of the Bloom. It seems that only you can see or hear the nymph. Who are you?
Who am I? Just a tear shed by the land itself. The bitter sigh of nature. I am a nymph, the guardian of this area. A defeated guardian. Call me the guardian of the bloom, if you wish.
Okay. What do you want from me?
Aid. Salvation. We have a common enemy, and long have I searched for someone who can defeat him. The one you call the Stag Lord. As a storm strikes ruthlessly with gusts and lightning, the Stag Lord wreaks havoc with the swords of his servants. And not just in the world of people. The land also suffers from the evil he brings. My forests and my flowers suffocate in this fog. Soon even I will vanish, as the last ray of light fades at dusk.
So the Stag Lord is responsible for the fog?
Yes, it hides his fortress as well as his dark deeds. But while responsible, he did not create this affliction. It is the work of a powerful druid who has betrayed even himself. I know not why the powers did not leave this renegade, but even I was unable to defeat him.
So, how can I help you?
This fog, it enshrouds, entangles, suffocates. If only I could learn how it was created. But my powers wane. I have barely the strength to call out to you. All I know for certain is that somewhere in this forest lies an old house, and it echoes with the remnants of a strange power.
Okay.
The Stag Lord and his druid were there. The fog hides this place from me, but I can point you to the bandits' camp near the Thornford. Make them tell you where this place is. Go there and listen to the echo, catch the whispers, search for anything that can tell you how the fog was created. Once the fog clears, nature will breathe again, and you will be able to easily find your way to the fortress of our mutual enemy.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly glad my adventure begins with such a beautiful sight.
Beauty is so tender. It can so easily be crushed under the blows of cruel fate. But you can save it from being undone.
I will try my best, so we have to go to Thornford.
I don't believe in fate, stranger. But our meeting seems more than a coincidence.
The nymph's whisper fades as she disappears. Set off to Thornford. Safe location. There are no threats on this location. It is sort of headquarters where you can prepare your party for a new expedition. In such locations, companions don't follow you around and will go about their own business. You can speak with them freely to get to know them better. Once you exit this location and return to the global map, you will be able to choose the companions you wish to take with you, leaving the others here. Whenever you meet a new companion, but don't want to include them in your party right away, that companion will travel to this location on their own. Okay, so this is our little hub for now. Very well. Very well.
Let us be careful.
Yeah, let us be careful and let's talk to everyone and get to know each other a little bit. We haven't had the chance really since we rolled up at court and then we got attacked by assassins and we just picked everyone up. So this will be a good chance to get to know our crew for now. A halfling girl with tousled hair wearing a dusty traveler's outfit sits chewing the tip of her quill. Just a moment. How should I put this? Oh, I know. She scribbles something quickly in a notebook scrawled with verse, raises her eyes and gives you a bright smile. Oh, hi! Well, tell me a little about yourself. What do you want to know? Where are you from? I'm from all over. I was actually born in Gold, in such a tiny village that it's not even on the maps. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be living here, milking goats, weeding turnips, swilling homebrew, having babies, and using books only as kindling. It's Gold, a nation of free thinkers and radicals renowned for brilliant poets, artists, and philosophers whose ideas shaped the politics of the whole of Avestan. Gold was once a vassal nation of Cheliax. After the death of Aroden and the rise of the House Thrune in Cheliax, the people of Gold decided to throw off their foreign rulers, along with their own nobles who had colluded with them. The executions did not end the bloodshed, and within 5 years the severed heads of the ministers of the first government rolled down the steps of the guillotine. And the 40 years since, over a dozen governments have ruled Gold, rising and falling like the waves of a stormy sea. So who was your teacher? He's a true saint. He was once an important person in the capital, at the Church of Chillin. But he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most godforsaken priestless village he could find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You can heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas into our children's heads. It'll only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write, and gave me books, poems, legends. He was the one who told me about the Archknights of Avestan. And when I told him I was going on a journey, he gave a magic ring so that Shalyn would protect me from harm. Oh, that's the ring that we saw in her inventory, actually. I haven't seen him since I ran away from home. I hope he's alright. I asked Shalyn every day to grant him a long life and new students. Archknights of Avestan? Who are they? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How can you be a heron without knowing one of the most epic stories in the history of stories? No, I won't spoil anything. You should read about them yourself, every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me the idea of going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now look at me. Here I am, on a heroic quest. How did you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides more radish patches, I decided to run away. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened across our village. Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let go until she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together we traveled everywhere, to Brevoy and Taldor and even Ustalav. Let's check. The mighty empire of Taldor once stretched from the Arcadian Ocean to the border of the Patrician Empire of Kalash. Aradan himself was said to walk among the people of Taldor and his religion, a shining beacon onto the world, radiated outward from Taldor's gilded capital of Opara. Taldor's ancient armies of exploration established footholds for the empire throughout Golarion, and its mighty phalanxes marched for thousands of miles during the Shining Crusade to beat back the Whispering Tyrant. Now Taldor is a stunted remnant of its old glory, having lost control of its daughter territories and is almost ignored by the powerful countries of today, which assume it will continue its slow decline for at least another century. Ustalav, the immortal principality of Ustalav, is a fog-shrouded nation of countless horrors and a once proud realm that suffered under the clawed hands of the Whispering Tyrant for centuries. Then I found out about the Academy of Grand Arts in Pitax, and I thought, well, I love reading stories, so I can surely learn to write them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me, but that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff, and now with Shalyn's help, I can manage on my own. So why did she got expelled? I'm a little bit suspicious of her, because she's a little bit too kind. And in those types of games, you are always a little bit suspicious towards kind people. And Pitax is also where the connection with the bandits that attacked in the beginning was. So I want to know why she got expelled, at least. Do you worship Shalyn? Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she's the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. Why are your clothes so messy? Forget it, I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my works, they aren't going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Fair point. Focusing on the important stuff. So you come from Pitax, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love Pitax, even though they kicked me out. A joyful place. But what is life in Pitax like? Actually, Pitax has always been one huge nest of thieves, bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fencers, card sharps. It's always been home for the likes of them. But that was before Irovati became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irovetti always wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown, though that's exactly what he is. He wanted to be glorified through the centuries as a great patron of the arts, so he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. If Patax was once just a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. What do you know of King Irovetti? He won his crown in a game of cards, which says as much about Patax as it does about him. He's fiendishly clever. Some cheats I know told me that from the moment he appeared, he started to pulling off such schemes that the old city master just scratches their heads. With him in charge, gold flooded into Patax, and I accidentally clicked to something that I don't know what happened. There we go. He actually flooded into Patax. And also, he's incredibly unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with a horse in the pub, that's not Lord Irovetti's style. Oh no, he aims higher, dressing up like male Calistria with a golden codpiece and holding a 3-week orgy with dancing on the rooftops, parades, public execution, and a contest for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. He also likes singing, and he orders his guards to make the citizen gathers for his shows. May Shallan have mercy on his listeners. Tell me about the academy you studied at. You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful to Irovetti for building it, but he has no taste at all, whatsoever. He likes his art loud, bright, grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying his royal highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on grey scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Tianxia for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. He even ordered the academy to expel me. And for what? An innocent limerick. Uh-oh. So she probably wrote something cheeky about Irovetti. Would you like to go back to the academy and finish your studies? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now and returned all the ones they banished. If you ask me, I'm proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Irovetti's liking, then I would have reason to be banished. As long as mediocre lickspittles sit at the academy, those with real talent back on the streets of Patax, I will not cross the threshold of the place. So she's certainly supporting the mindset of that art should challenge the establishment and should challenge the thoughts of the time. Tell me about that book you're writing. I was there to tell. You've seen some of my rough drafts already, haven't you? It's a book about you and your adventures. I'm writing the whole truth just as it happens. Well, the whole artistic truth. You know, no glory, no story. Makes sense. A little bit of glorification. Why are you writing it? What's the point? When I was at the academy, Eobald the Insightful began his literature course with the question, what is a person? And he answered, a person is a storytelling animal. Our world does not consist of things, all these words, seas and cities. It consists of stories about those things. The stories we tell to ourselves and to each other. Just think about it. Centuries will pass and there will be no me and no you. All your subjects will be long gone, but you and I live on in the people's memories and influence their deeds, thanks to this very book. Oh, no offense, but your command of language is not that good. Not sure if we want to say that. Your book is full of inconsistencies. Okay, I think we get into it. Well, yes, I can admit that. Sometimes one has to bend a few details for the sake of dramatic effect. It's called poetic truth. I write about everything as if I saw it with my own eyes, even parts of the adventure that I wasn't around for. But I do always carefully question everyone who was with you at the time. Think of it of a general picture. In the end, you're the heroine of this book, and I'm just the storyteller. Well, no offense, but your command of language isn't that good. The truth doesn't hurt me. Who do you think my most severe critic is? That's right, it's me. This is my first real book, and I have much yet to learn, but don't you worry, I will do your feats justice. And if I put my foot in my mouth here and there, then we can print a second edition, revised and corrected. So, what kind of character am I? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of meeting a real hero. In books, they're all protectors of the weak and poor, but what about in real life? But you eased all my fears with two shakes of a tail. You're a true heroine, just like in the legend. My new fear is that in 100 years my readers will say that people like you never existed, but I'm writing the truth. You are like a force of nature, wild and unpredictable. You're full of surprises. I doubt I could make up a protagonist like you, even if I tried very hard. How do you feel about me reading your work in progress? Well, these are only drafts, but of course you're welcome to read them. Just keep in mind that even if you don't like what I write about you, I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. Of course, it's a book about you, but it's my book, understood? The small writer's eye glow rebelliously. Write whatever you wish. I doubt you would defame me, or for that matter, overpraise. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Get your real thoughts in there. Thank you for your trust. I will not set out to please you, of course, but I will still hope that you like my book as much as my other readers. Very well. Tell me about your friendship with Tessie the Quill. What's there to say? The books woke my urge to travel, but it was only thanks to Tessie that I managed to really get out of my village. At first, Tessie tried in vain to get rid of me, but later, when I told her I was staying in Patax, she even shed a tear. I wonder where she is now. Now that Lindsay mentioned it for a second time, that she's wondering where Tessie the Quill is, I'm sure we will meet Tessie the Quill, or at least find out what happened to Tessie the Quill. What's the deal with the ring you always wear on your finger? Ah, this. Lindsay holds her arm for you to get a clear view of the ring. It was a gift for me from my first teacher. It's magical, imbued by the powers of Shilin, no less. When I get myself in trouble, it transports me to a safe spot. So, please don't be angry with me if I suddenly disappear from a fight. I'll wait for you here. Promise. Okay. Leave and do not return. I don't want to ever see you again. No. Let's not leave without me. Of course, I could just write whatever you tell me, but if I wanted to stay cooped up in a dusty room, I'd still be sleeping through lectures at the academy. Okay, lots to talk about with Lindsay, but I mean, I think for games like this, it is important to get to know your characters early and get a sense of how they think and how they feel and how everything goes. So I do like to get through all of the dialogues early on, and then as we go on, unlock obviously more of the dialogue, and then it's not as much at one time. But I guess that also means that for today we will focus on that. Who's that? Noriel 8 Eyes. I'm familiar with that person. Noriel 8 Eyes. The elf looks straight at you through the tangled hair falling over her face. Hey, you're an adventurer, right? Seeking your fortune in the Stone Lands? You're not the only one of your kind here. Take my advice. Keep your eyes open and watch your back. Sometimes the ones who call themselves your friends are more dangerous than your enemies. Judging by the elf's voice, it's obvious that she started the day with a jug of wine. Why? The elf grunts. Noriel 8 Eyes. Once upon a time I was famous throughout Absalom. That's Absalom. For more than 4,000 years, Absalom has been the city at the center of the world, a metropolis-sized showcase of the greatest treasure in all Galarian. The city not only holds a key strategic position for both commercial and military endeavors in the region, but encompasses the site of the ascension of 4 deities and claims to have been founded by none other than the last Aslanti, the god Aradon. Noriel 8 Eyes of the Reckless 6. Well, glory passes quickly. A few miserable decades later and no one recognizes you on the streets anymore. What a shame. What are you doing here? I sit here waiting for adventurers who are in need of help. We may be sitting here in a backwoods tavern, but in Absalom I have a lot of friends who are eager to make a few coins. They have brave hearts but shallow pockets. A little gold would be a welcome change for them. I can send them a message and they will come from Absalom through a portal. If you're interested, just give me a sign and we'll arrange everything right away. Okay, I see. So I know kind of this mechanic from other games. It's basically you can get random or fairly random companions just to fill up your squad that don't have much of a backstory, I think. Also, I can summon the tutors from the Pathfinder Society who can retrain you and your companions. They are quite willing to do this for free the first 3 times you request their service. After that, the price for retraining will gradually increase. Such is the way of doing business with new clients. Okay. Don't need that right now, but good to know that we have that. Why are you called 8 Eyes? Once, long ago, I could spot an enemy and pin him to the wall before he could even think of attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and looked all around at once, though it seems I've outlived my nickname. Noriel stretches her arm forward. Her palm trembles noticeably. I've been drinking so much lately, it's best I don't test my skills so often. Okay. Kind of age catching up with her. Where were you when the trading post was attacked? I was hunting, got a little lost in the mist, which is the first time that's happened to me. I guess I should go easier on the drink. But don't you imagine I'd be scared of a good fight. If only I'd known I was missing all of the action, but I see you've got everything under control. Would you like to join me? No. I've got enough things to do already. You'd better manage on your own. Okay. Famous Pathfinder? Here in the middle of nowhere? Why? Want to know how one could exchange the life of Pathfinder for this sorry drunken rat hole? The light in Honoria's eyes goes out as if someone had blown out a candle. You lose all your friends because of one scumbag, and then you'll understand. I was the only one to return from the final campaign of the Reckless Six. Whatever is left of me can't be called Seeker anymore. I wonder the way this is pointed out, if that is something known to people who are familiar with the Pathfinder universe. So if that is like a reference to something, or if there are generally references in the game to larger happenings in the universe that do not spoil anything in the future, let me know in the comments below. I'm very, very eager to read about them and learn about them. So let me know. Honoria remained silent for a long time, as if wondering if she wished to poke the old wound. Here's the story. Our leader, Fermeld, was the best of us. Wise, brave, friends with everyone. One of those friends, Adivion Adrissant, sent him a disturbing letter. He'd stumbled upon mention of some ancient books on some art of necromancy. Secrets like those are best left hidden forever. Trust me, I've seen what that kind of magic can do. The elf bites her lip. To make a long story short, these volumes were supposedly hidden in the catacombs of Gallowspire. We decided that the books should be retrieved and kept safe by the society. We gathered in a tavern, discussed the expedition, then proceeded to Ustalav. It was a normal mission, a quick and quiet recovery. Honoria smiles bitterly, but everything turned out to be much more complicated. We barely made it through the Witchgate Forest. All those terrible living trees, undead druids and their arches of bones. It was a miracle we managed to make it out alive. Pathfinder Society. The Pathfinder Society is a globe-spanning organization based out of Absalom. The membership consists primarily of Pathfinders, adventurers who travel throughout Golarion, usually inconspicuously, and explore, delve, and otherwise experience the lesser-seen parts of the world. They send journals documenting their travels back to their adventure captains, who also assign them new missions and suggest new places to explore. The most exciting and illuminating of these journals are compiled in the Pathfinder Chronicles, an ongoing series of books that collects the history of mysteries of Golarion for its membership and general public. We've chosen Wren Church to stop at. It was marked on Fermal's map as a safe enough haven to hole up in and lick our wounds. I wish that had been true. Fermal was the first to perish. He was attacked by one of the monsters hiding in the stables. It tossed him about like a feather and threw him down an ancient well. His shout echoed for a long time, and I didn't hear the sound of him landing. And then Nora pauses and turns away, hiding her eyes. Enough, I shouldn't have gotten into this. Who am I to stir up other feelings with all my chatter? We'd better forget about it now. Maybe I'll tell you more about it some other time, but not today. Well, thank you for opening up about it. Anyway, Svetlana, good day! I hope you're feeling all right after the battle. I can't thank you enough for what you've done. I definitely don't want to waste your time, but if you have a moment, I have a request. What did you want to ask me? This is a very personal request, maybe not important enough for your time. I'll completely understand if you say no, but the first time the Stacklord thugs came here demanding money, they also took my wedding ring. Just tore it off my hand. It's just a trinket, really, but it means so much to me. I remember every moment of the day Oleg came to me, that ring in the hand, to ask if I'd marry him. I was standing in a fancy dress on the stairs of my father's home, fearing that I'd misheard something, or that I'd say something stupid and everyone around would laugh. Svetlana interrupts herself, shaking her head gently. If you happen to find my ring among the bandits' possession, please bring it back to me. It's easy to recognize. My name is engraved inside the band. Svetlana drops her eyes, lowering her voice. There is one more thing. Among the bandits, there's a dark-haired woman who wields dual axes. She's not bad in a fight. In fact, she can be extremely dangerous and cruel, but please, I beg you, show her mercy if you have the chance. I can't promise anything, but if I do come across the ring, I'll return it to you. I understand. I appreciate any effort you put into it. Tell me about yourself. How did you and your husband find the courage to establish a trading post in the stolen lands? It was Oleg's idea, though I supported him in it. We didn't realize how dangerous it was here, of course. In Restov, everyone respects the sword laws, and everyone's accustomed to relying on them. Even the mention of someone like Lady Jamandi could be enough to fend off a street thug or some other trouble. It could maybe even work in some places here, but not with the Stacklords, man. Okay. What can you tell me about the Stacklord? He's not just some average bandit. If no one puts a stop to him, he'll turn the stolen lands into his personal kingdom, a kingdom of fear and oppression. Well, I do like adventures, but I prefer the ones involve stopping villains and helping good people. Can't thank you enough for the hope you've given me. Please be careful. The Stacklord is extremely dangerous. We'll try to be careful. Can't promise anything. We have a quest for Svetlana's ring. We have Oleg here, Harim. Let's talk to Oleg first. Greetings! Oleg seems to be in a good mood and greets you warmly. You certainly ruffled those villains' feathers. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. Have you seen the fog? Never seen anything like it before. The road to Restov looks like someone spilled milk and it just hung in the air. I couldn't see anything through that soup, not even with a torch. Feels like witchcraft to me. I bet the Stacklord's involved somehow. Rumors say he deals with all kinds of magic. Tell me about yourself. Why open a trading post in such a dangerous place? I just dislike the noise, Oleg answers reluctantly. I'm from Restov. Cities are complicated. Lots of people and each with their place on the shelf. Bow before this one, fear this other, don't do business with a third, but be sure to be extra nice to the fourth, and villages are a little better. Everyone likes to stick their noses into each other's business. I just want a place where I could be my own master, and so I ended up here. Fair enough. I need to take care of the Stacklord. Do you know anything that could help me find him? That's quite the task you've set yourself on. The Stag Lord has a fortress somewhere in this area, but only a few chosen from the most trusted of his rabble are ever invited. The location of the fortress is a heavily guarded secret, and with the fog hanging around, I'd imagine it would be even harder to find. I suppose you could try to follow the trail of those bandits who attacked the post before. They came from the southwest, from the side of the Thorn River. Let's see. The Thorn River meanders through the northern parts of the Null Marches. Slow, fetid, and teeming with life, the muddy waters flow sluggishly through flooded lands and dense thickets. The locals dare not drink from the Thorn River, and not just because of the filth or stench. Ravenous beasts lurk in the murky depth, lying in wait and ready at any time to pull their prey from solid ground down to the bottom of the river. The fortress might be there, or at least some large camp of theirs where you can find some information. Yeah, we have to go. What was it? Thorn something where we have to go. What else can you tell me about the Stag Lord? Not much, not like I've sat down and shared a cup of wine with the man, you know. But I think he arrived in the Stonelands less than a year ago, from what I've heard. But soon as he got here, he took over everything. I wrote to Restov, tried to warn them that the Stag Lord wasn't some typical gang leader, but they didn't listen. The rumors about him are horrible. He'll kill a person if they so much as disagree with him. He never reveals his face. Those who've seen him up close report the same thing. Ugly scars cover every inch of his skin, not covered by his clothes. The Stag Lord's past is a mystery. He just arrived one day. He was immediately empowered to be reckoned with. I guess the most surprising thing about him is that he has as many followers who admire him as he has minions who obey him out of fear. He's got some inner strength in him, or maybe an inner madness. There are many who seem to follow him because of the madness, like it was some kind of virtue. Show me your wares. We have a few things to sell at least. Some of the basic stuff here. Composite longbow. We can get rid of longsword. I think I will keep the longsword for now. Also, let me know if I can or should sell the books, or if it makes sense to keep them. Love to hear about that. So for now, I will just sell these, but if you think that, or if I should keep those jewelries and stuff like that, let me know. If they if I can use them for crafting or anything like that later. We're still overburdened, apparently. How are we overburdened? What is so? What is so heavy? Oh, the camping supplies are so heavy. I see. And the books. That's rough. But I guess once we are in a group, it'll be fine. Well, let's talk to Harim. Harim pulls his beard, muttering something that could be either prayers or curses. Upon noticing you, he whispers, "Ah, what? Ah, it's you, Nix. Did I startle you? I'm sorry." "Oh no, that doesn't matter. I was just contemplating the futility of existence and the worthlessness of the universe. The ways of Grotus are great. My humble mortal mind cannot fully grasp them, but I do what I can." Harim smiles apologetically. "Well, tell me about your past." "My life is divided into two paths. The first was filled with blind wandering, doubts, and attempts to serve Torak. Torak, also known as Father of Creation, is a stoic and serious dwarven god of the forge, protection, and strategy who values honor, planning, and well-made steel. He is an often distant deity, lending magical powers to his clerics, but leaving his followers to make their own way through life, knowing that this will make them strong and determined. The second part began when I accepted Groitus into my soul and received a clear vision of the world. What exactly would you like to know? Well, where are you from? My life story began in Larat, a city of dwarven clerics and acolytes. They served Torak and the other dwarven gods, Torak's brother Angrat and Magrim, Torak's wives Fulgrid, his brother Bolka, his sons Grundinar, Coles, and Trud, and also Torak's sister Dranquid. Tarim curves his lips in contempt. I wouldn't be surprised if they built a temple to Torak's pet dog. Sorry, I let myself get carried away. Tarim sighs and pulls his beard several times. Larat is the second largest dwarven city in the Five Kings Mountains. It's built up around numerous temple caverns, which serve as places of worship for all the dwarven gods. Many pilgrims from every corner of Golarion come to Larat to pray to their gods. Some remain to live there. The city is simply imbued with faith. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a cleric. It's no surprise, inspired by the aura of the city, that I decided as a young boy to dedicate all my efforts to becoming a cleric of Torah. So you once tried to serve Torak? Not just tried. It was a burning passion. I craved it by day and dreamt of it by night. Harem shakes his head, as if amazed by his own stupidity. You see, Nyx, from my first day I felt the presence of the god at my back. I heard his whispers and felt his power. Through the nature of this power was unclear to me. I thought Torak himself was trying to speak to me, and I did all I could do to understand his words. Oh, what a naive fool I was. I had no idea that Torak, that uncompromising, conceited god glamorized by all dwarves, was capable of betrayal. He turned away from me next. He left me in the hour when I pulled all my hopes in him and desperately needed his support. Torak is the god of craftsmanship, so every follower, especially the clerics, must smith their own suit of armor. The day when this work is finished is like the second birthday for a dwarf. He's newly born in the eyes of Torak. My second birthday never came. I couldn't make armor, not even a sword, not even a simple nail. My hammer smashed my finger and fell on my feet. Molten iron burned my hands, and the clerics laughed as they healed me. They used to say I was cursed by Torak, so finally I gave up any attempt to face the betrayer god. Even if Torak really was rejected you, is that enough reason to leave your homeland? You don't know much about dwarves. How can a dwarf cursed by Torak go on living in a city where every single soul bows to Torak? I was alone, disgraced, humiliated, insulted. A lone tear glints in the light before sliding down Harim's cheek and hiding in his beard. I was trying to drown my sorrows in drink, but even the owner of the cheapest pub on the road would laugh at me while he put those mugs in front of me. I couldn't take it any longer. I wanted everything to end. But there was one thing that kept me going and prevented me from ending my life. I could still hear that divine whisper behind my back. It was faint. It took me a long time before I could hear it clearly. But having heard it once, I could never forget it. It was clear that none of Larat's deities favored me, so I left the Five King Mountains and went out searching. I didn't think dwarves ever worshipped Groitus. How did you learn about it? Oh, but that blessed day became the beginning of a new life. Alone and abandoned by all, I spent many dull hours in a filthy tavern by the roadside. I don't recall the town, nor even the country. I had no money. In fact, all I had was a hunk of stale bread. I was weary and almost fainting from hunger. And that was the moment when the whisper from my god became more clear. It was like he was calling me. At last my suffering had come to an end. It was a miracle, Nyx, and I had paid full price for it with my torments. I couldn't control myself. I walked out of the tavern and straight into the nearest forest, and there I found the ruined temple of Aroden, the lost god. Several figures clad in robes were holding a silent service there, a service to a god I knew nothing of. None minded when I stood beside them. For the first time in my life I felt myself at home. My new brothers told me that they were clerics of Groitus, the god of end times. They were traveling around Golarion, spreading the teaching of Groitus, despite all the persecution, contempt, and misjudgment they received from others. I gladly shared this burden with them, for now I knew whose voice had whispered to me through all those years. Wait, so you can make even a simple nail and you blame Torak? Are you suggesting that my problem was not a curse, just my own inability to work with metal? Or maybe you're saying that I was just too lazy. Hiram looks into your eyes defiantly, his hands trembling with suppressed rage as he runs his finger over his beard. You're a fool if you think so, an ignorant fool. Have you ever met a dwarf who can't handle a smith's hammer? Even our children carve knives. No. Torak is the cause of my sufferings. The betrayer god deliberately cursed me, just to make a laughingstock of me. Hiram raises his hands and shakes his fist at someone above. But I won't let myself to get angry at you, Nyx. You're an ignorant and blind soul, and my aim is to guide you through this dying world that marches towards its end. I will open your eyes or die trying. Groitus will be pleased by either outcome. Let's talk about something else then. I'd like to learn more about the dwarves. Most dwarves are self-satisfied, stubborn fools serving Torak. They don't deserve my good attitude. But you can ask what you want to know. I'll try to answer. Tell me about the 5 King Mountains. The Dwarven Kingdom, yes. Well, it's to the south from here. It survived many trials and there will be more yet to come. Hiram strokes his beard, contemplating. There's no unity among the dwarves, Nyx. The 5 kings rule over our people. They sit on the thrones of the 5 greatest cities, and with every passing day it grows harder for them to come to any agreement. The only thing uniting the 5 kings' mountains is the sky citadel of Highhelm, the great dwarven fortress at the mountain's heart. Have the dwarves always lived on the surface? Oh no, eons ago all dwarves lived deep beneath the surface, and they did rather well judging by the historic records. They built fortresses befitting noble dwarves, but our restless god Torak sent us a prophecy, the quest for the sky. He ordered all the dwarves to abandon their fortresses and press upwards, to show their beards to the sun, as they say. This journey was long and bloody. Many dwarves perished on the way, others turned back, keeping to their ancient strongholds, eventually to turn into evil Duergar, grey dwarves. But those who survived reached the surface and founded the Sky Citadel, the most glorious cities in dwarven history. Tell me about the Sky Citadels. Oh, they are the peak of creation, glorious cities built by the ancient dwarves who finally reached the surface after many hardships, performing the final labor in the quest for the sky on the surface of Golarion. Hiram's eyes glitter with admiration. They are steadfast, tall, magnificent. They are beautiful. The 10 citadels were built by dwarves, but we've managed to keep only a few. The citadels crumbled and the orcs, sworn enemies of our people, trembled their blessed streets and ruined the gorgeous places of the ancient kings. Hiram's eyes grow misty with tears. These were heavy losses and a disgrace to our people, Nyx. Highhelm is the jewel of the citadels that remain. It is located in the heart of the mountains and the heart of every dwarf. Yes, my heart too. There is a dwarven saying that if an enemy reaches Highhelm, every dwarf from all the corners of the world will come to defend it. Hiram casts a sad glance at you. I'd be there too, but not to help the citadel's defenders. I'd be there to witness the fall of our people with my own eyes and mourn it. I would fall upon the cold stone and raise my final prayer to Groitus. Okay. I'd like to talk about your god Groitus. You wish to learn about Groitus? Hiram seems surprised and pleased at the same time. Yes, of course. I will answer anything you ask. What are Groitus teaching about in a nutshell? Groitus is the end of all that exists. Hiram smiles. He's obviously been waiting for the question. Look around, Nyx. What do you see? Look again and realize that everything will be destroyed. Our clothing and our armor will turn into dust. The walls of the places will crumble into ruins. The trees will fall, and you and I will die much sooner than that. Grotus is a timeless watcher. He's been locked away by Pharasma, the goddess of rebirth. From her boneyard, he watches over the world, knowing the time for the final reaping shall come. He's the bloated moon hanging in the sky. He's the harbinger of the last days. He's the one who will stay when all the others are gone. Pharasma has Grotus locked in her boneyard, so she's stronger than Grotus? Of course she is stronger, for now. Grotus is weaker than Pharasma and many other gods. I would be a fool if I tried to claim otherwise. If Grotus were stronger, the end times would already have come, wouldn't they? Makes sense. But the powers of other gods fade away. They dissolve slowly, a grain in a century. Grotus collects those grains and waits. He doesn't need to hurry. He knows that his time shall come. Usually clerics speak with their gods. What does Grotus say to you? What is his will? Grotus doesn't speak to his clerics. Actually, Grotus doesn't need any clerics. He only allows his whisper to be heard, and only by those who are dying to hear them. His words aren't clear, but they call to you. His voice comes with the soft rustle of fallen leaves, with the woeful wailing wind at the mountain pass, with the roar of the raging blizzard, and it calls you to strike out on the road. Onwards, always onwards, over the pass, over the bridge, and further along. Up ahead, where the edge of the grey robe flashed, and candles sputtered for the last time before dying. Onwards, always onwards, until your feet can no longer carry you. Harem falls silent, submerged in his own thought. Thank you for telling me about Grotus. Then let me ask you, what do you think about Grotus? I like your tales, there's an inherent truth to them. It was interesting to learn about them. Yeah, let's be honest, it was interesting, but no more, no less. I'll be glad to talk with you about Grotus anytime, Nix. After all, that's why I travel in company. Have you ever regretted your decision to abandon Torak and start worshipping Grotus instead? Your question might seem offensive, Nix, but I'm not offended. I realize you ask it because you wish to learn more about Grotus. Torak betrayed me, Nix. All he's ever done was look down with contempt on all my futile efforts to please him. I crafted armor plates, but they fell apart with a single strike of a fist. I smithed swords, but they broke at the hilt. Torak's priests used to say that such failures were the curse of their uncompromising deity. Harem's fingers grab his beard with such force that it seems he'll tear a handful of hair out of it. It was Grotus who opened my eyes. He showed me that failure is a manifestation of his will. The end time is near, Nix, and every failure is just another step towards it. Torak's curse is only half the reason for my failure. The other half is the blessing of Grotus, which I have borne from early childhood. So the short answer to your question is no. I've never regretted opening my soul to Grotus. From what I've heard, Grotus doesn't spare the minds of his clerics. They all go insane eventually. Is that true? Ha! Who told you that? I'd like to look that slanderer in the eye. Harem burst into laughter, but you can't understand what's so funny. You see, Nick, sanity is quite a relative concept, Harem says as the laughter recedes. Each of us is certain that he's the sanest creature in the world. Meanwhile, we periodically doubt the sanity of others. So, what happens if 2 of 3 people claim that someone else is insane? Does that make it true? Perhaps accusers have lost their minds themselves. The longer a cleric listens to the whispers of Grotus, the better he comprehends the essence of his designs, and the deeper his understanding becomes. When enlightenment comes, the mind of a cleric ascends to a new level and understanding, which is inaccessible to simpler souls. Is it insanity? This is for you to decide, Nix. My decision was made long ago. When I reach enlightenment, I'll accept it with joy and delight. Honestly, that's just too much. You're a funny dwarf and you have your peculiarities, but to go insane voluntarily? Well, when you learn Grotus' divine plans, remember to tell me about them. I could use a good laugh. I mean, I actually think his eagerness is commendable. I'm glad he notices. I dream that Grotus will someday notice my eagerness too. Okay, so we're done with him. I wanna... Where is... Amiri? Is it Amari or Amiri? I always forget. I'm sure she is somewhere here. Let's check in with Bokken. Ha! Old Bokken still knows a few tricks to impress these blood-sucking dummies. Enough hiding in these damn bushes, I say. Can I help you in any way? Ah. Well, since you're asking, there's a cave nearby. I used to pick berries in there, but the place has been overrun by spiders. The berries are red. Look a lot like raspberries. Fangberries, I call them. I'd be really grateful if you gathered a basket of them and brought them back. Just be quick if you do. They spoil quickly. The spiders in the caves are mean. Here, let me give you some alchemical fire. Crafted it myself. Burn those spiders to a crisp. That will teach them for taking over the Fangberry cave. Okay, very nice. I also need a bucket of moon radishes. They are rare and mysterious plants. I don't know where to find them, but I know that kobolds gather them and value them highly. It's not a huge deal, really. I'd do it myself if I were younger, but if you're willing, I'll pay you. 3 potions for the berries and a purse full of coins for the radishes. Sounds good. Alright, I'll try to help. Yeah, remind me what you do here. What's there to tell? I'm an herbalist. Okay, that's the same that he said before. Let's show me what you got. Okay, he has, unsurprisingly, all kinds of potions. He has wands, some scrolls, mushrooms, honey. Fair enough. But I think this is a good point to end the episode for today. Next time we will talk to Amiri, and then I think we will head out and see maybe if we go to the cave with the berries, maybe continue towards the River Thorn, or what else will be on our way. In those games, things can surprise you very quickly. So, thank you all for watching today's episode. A little bit of getting to know our characters, and we did have the big defense of this trading post. So if you enjoyed the episode, please give the video a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. That all helps me out a whole bunch, and will bring you more content in the future. I will be back with more Pathfinder, Kingmaker very soon. Until next time, have a great time. Bye bye.